Hello and welcome to SF Live. I'm your host, Christina Marie Flores. Tonight with us we have Patrick Warren and Andrea Juarez, and they are from the Youth Employment Development Program, CHALK. Welcome to both of you.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
CHALK, I've heard a lot about CHALK. Could you explain what it is exactly that CHALK does?
CHALK is Communities in Harmony Advocating for Learning in Kids. I know it's a mouthful.
That's why I said CHALK.
Yeah.
There you go.
And what we do is youth employment mainly, but we also do youth development. And we do that through a number of ways. We have 3 main programs. Mm-hmm. And you may have heard of Youthline, which is our phone line, and I'll let Patrick explain what Youthline does and what the offshoots of Youthline are. We have the outreach department, mm-hmm. and those are a bunch of youth that are trained to do outreach in the community, going to community agencies, and also visiting schools and disconnected youth on the streets. Mm-hmm. And they promote our programs as well as other programs, and they also just try to get young people to connect to resources. And then lastly, we have our grant-making program, which is Youth Funding Youth Ideas. That's YFYI. And what they do, they're a bunch of young people ages 14 to 17 who make decisions on what youth-led projects will get funding from us. And we give up to $10,000 in grant money.
Now, when you're talking about a project, this has to be thought up by kids.
Yes.
And presented. And what type of projects are you talking about? What's the scope of the projects that they come up with?
We're very open. We do have categories. We have 9. I'm not going to name them all right now.
Okay, no, name each one of them.
But they range from recreation and art to violence prevention and entrepreneurships. Mm-hmm. So we have, pretty much open range of what young people can do. It's pretty much up to their imagination, what they're willing to do within those confines. And we also provide assistance and support before they turn in an application. Mm-hmm. So it's a step-by-step process that we are really involved in.
And do you think they really do come up with some good ideas? I'd imagine that, because the kids are the ones on the street and they do know what the city's going through and mm-hmm. what they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. So have you any particular examples of really unique ideas that kids came up with?
Yeah, there's a group of young people in the Tenderloin that decided they wanted to start their own business. In the Tenderloin, there are a lot of corner stores that sell junk food, and the young people that are in that neighborhood would always go and get soda pop and chips and cookies and whatever. So these young people, and they range from ages, 10 to about 15, mm-hmm. decided to come together and start a smoothie shop. So they applied for funding from us to start their own smoothie shop, and they're doing really well. They've been running for about 5 years.
Wow, in the Tenderloin, mm-hmm. they started a smoothie shop. How mm-hmm. amazing. And then that brings healthy food mm-hmm. to an area that didn't have it before.
Yeah.
So because the kids know, they do know because they live there,
right.
What's missing and how they can help. Do you think kids have changed? This question is to both of you. Kids that get involved with your organization, do they then turn around and spread the knowledge and really bring other kids into it?
I think so. Go ahead.
Definitely. I guess I'd be an example. All of us, if you're looking at it like that level, all of the adult staff at CHALK have come up as youth staff. We started out as youth staff and we worked our way up. There's been plenty of, I've had a youth who was on the TV show, Youthline Live, who got so into it to the point where he found his career in that. He started working with video editing and making his own shorts.
Very cool. Hang on one second. We have a call. Do you want to take the call? Hello, caller. Hi, caller. You're on the air.
Can I talk to...
I'm sorry. Hang on. We're just trying to get to hear you here.
Can I talk to the Chinese girl?
I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
The Chinese girl is beautiful.
I'm sorry. I can hardly hear you. Could you speak up just a little bit?
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. Yes, Andrea is very beautiful. Did you have a question?
What day she's beautiful and nice.
Why, thank you very much for calling. That's very sweet. You're beautiful too. Thank you. I think that we have a fan club. Very good. So I'm sorry. So you were saying that you had one that was video editing?
Yeah, mm-hmm. He found that's what we wanted to do. But we've also had people who've come from CHALK and ended up working at other nonprofits. they definitely get a sense of what it's like to give back. And I think once you start doing that, especially at a young age, it kind of just becomes part of your life. Just keep doing it.
And we do have a call-in line. If you do want to call in with questions for Chalk, please call us at 621-4473. There's a call again. Let's see if this is our fan or if this is someone else. Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Is this the same?
Can I talk to a Chinese lady?
You want to talk to the Chinese lady. I think that's a different show. I'm not sure, but thank you for calling. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about is I'd like to know what type of kids come to Chalk. Are there a certain group of children that really are attracted to Chalk, or is it pretty much all across the board?
I think it's all across the board.
It's all across the board. You'd be surprised if you visit Chalk that it's you get kids that have been raised in stable homes and are going to good schools. And then you get kids that come from unstable homes and are probably really struggling in school. But we do tend to hire young people that are at risk in some way, whether it's financially, problems at home, or emotionally. And sometimes those are the kids that are attracted to Chalk because of who we hire. So, when our outreach team goes out and does outreach, they are youth that we've hired because of their experiences. And a lot of times, I would say maybe 90% of the youth that we hire, it's their first time having a job. And it would be more difficult for them to get a job anywhere else than they would at Chalk. Our interview process is very interesting. It's a 2-hour interview. And
What do you ask during the interview?
Everything. What
Everything.
makes you want to work here? What would make you at risk? What have you gone through? Name one challenge you've had and how you accomplished it. I mean,
And what kind of
Yeah.
challenges have they gone through? That you mentioned one being at risk. Does that mean like drug abuse or what
there's
type?
been plenty of drug abuse. Drug abuse. I mean, rape, abusive parents, even things like just like emotionally unstable. I mean, youth. People who've not committed suicide, attempted suicide, things like that. I mean, it runs the whole range. So.
And that makes them more able to speak to their peers that they go out and try to bring into Chalk or find help with Chalk because they've been through things in their life as well.
I think it helps on some level. Yeah.
It's that peer-to-peer thing that happens organically that may be more difficult for an adult who is not as connected to those experiences to do in another program. So we use the young people as resources to bring in more young people. And it's worked for us for about 11 years. So I think it's a pretty good strategy.
Which is my next question. How long has Chalk been in business, so to speak?
For about 11 years.
11 years, right? And who started it? Who was the one that started Chalk?
David Glickman and
Jason Singer.
Jason Singer, yeah. Those are the two guys that started Chalk. When I started at Chalk, which was about 10 years ago, I came in with the second wave of young people that they hired to run what was then only the phone line, and that's what Chalk was. And I really enjoyed it because it gave me an opportunity to give back as I was learning about myself, and it really helped me mold my career into a youth development professional, which is what I do.
It must be very rewarding to see kids that could be going off in the wrong track and being able to catch them just in time and give them responsibility and let them experience helping other kids. It must be a very powerful thing to watch that.
Definitely. That's why we're still here.
Very good. And are there can you remember one story in particular, maybe an individual that really, really needed help that got involved and really did get helped from your service?
You have anyone?
I was thinking you can talk about Victor.
Yeah, that's probably who I was going to talk about. We had one youth who was going in and out of the juvenile justice system for like almost his whole life. Came to one of our came across the application somehow. I don't know how. I think his friend was working there, and just really wanted the job. Said, even if you don't hire me for the phone line or whatever, I'll sweep the floors. Just give me a job. And he just ended up becoming like a superstar. He stayed there until he aged out. He ended up becoming a coordinator for the Youth on Life for a minute. He's the one I'm talking about. He's actually found his career.